Good morning and welcome to the student chapter session on best practices. So we try and do this each year at Bmes to give other student chapters a chance to grill our award-winning student chapters. And last year I know it went really well, and I feel like the students really got a lot out of what the chapters had to say. So hopefully it's the same this year. So how this session and the next session will be run is each chapter will give about a 20-minute presentation, and then after their presentations, we'll open the floor up for questions of either one of the chapters. So keep your questions, write them all down, and then you can get it out of them later. So I just wanted to make a few notes. So as I've been the BMES Student Affairs Committee Chair for the past 2 years. Our student membership has increased tremendously over those 2 years, I think up 25% even this past year. And we encourage you guys to continue that. I know the one thing that we've talked about over the past few years is really keeping the idea in your head that we don't consider you a BMES member unless you're a national member. So it's really important that you really strive to increase your national membership. And that's really what we're looking at when we look at your CDR. We understand that there's limitations and that everybody has fiscal particularly situations, but that's what we ask that you do and you kind of strive for at the chapter level, is to really help us maintain our national membership, because that's really where they get the benefit of what we do, and we get the benefit of trying to help you guys the best we can. So again, there's one more thing that I wanted to say, in that if you're interested in helping out either the BMES Student Affairs Committee or any other committees, it's really important that you go online and volunteer. There are lots of committees that are looking for student members, and we really value your input, especially on our committee. We have a number of student members who are very active, and especially in this next year when we're looking to try and get a national BME design kind of committee and program together for maybe the next year or the following year. We know that it'll take a while, but we think that student input on that would be very valuable. So without any further ado, this year we had 2 outstanding chapters that are going to give you their best practices. Our first presenters will be the chapter at UC Davis, who I know some of them from last year, and then the second chapter will be Johns Hopkins. So congratulations and enjoy.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Varsha Vishwanath. I am this year's president of the UC Davis chapter of the Biomedical Engineering Society. Today I'm up here with 2 of our vice presidents, Alexander Summers and Rachel Gerlin, as well as our student affairs officer, Rose Hung Trong. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about our club structure, our successful events, and some refinements that we've been making to our club. So, what is our role as the BMES chapter at UC Davis? Our mission is best explained by 2 of our former officers, both of whom are great role models for students at UC Davis. Judy Shaw says that our role is to provide helpful academic and professional resources to undergraduates, as well as facilitate undergraduate involvement in the UC Davis Biomedical Engineering Department. We do our best to try and create relationships between undergraduates, faculty, and graduate students. Nick Chichery, last year's BMES president, states that we try to help our members in every aspect of their academic career, from picking classes to getting a research position. This is definitely true, and if we can't help students personally, we definitely try and connect them with people who can.
BMES at UC Davis works to foster relations between several different groups. We connect our BME undergraduates with our amazing faculty and numerous graduate students. We also have connections with industry, such as a local Vacaville Center of Genentech, and we connect with other UC Davis clubs, high schools, and local businesses.
Recruitment is our key means of getting members. Every year we attend various events such as Preview Day and the Ice Cream Social to entice members to join our club. Here you can see a picture of how we set up our table to display some of our best achievements, such as our newsletter committee, and you can also see us talking to many students.
Our publicity plays a key aspect in our increasing event attendance. Every single week, we have 1 to 3 events, and every single event gets a special flyer. We also keep a very updated Facebook page, website, and calendar so that our members are constantly informed.
The Bmes chapter at UC Davis contains an officer cabinet of 14 members, and we take turns in leading events, planning them, and getting them together. We had about 157 members last year, including local chapter members with dues of $15, as well as national members as a part of our 2-tier member system. The number of members continues to grow as a result of our creative and beneficial events for career development, social activities, and numerous opportunities to get involved in our chapter, such as our newsletter committee.
Each quarter, our newsletter crew puts out our very own BME Messenger. We are a group of 7 to 8 enthusiastic students that wish to inform undergraduates, staff, and faculty about the current happenings in the biomedical world, from the local to national to world stages. We also highlight undergraduates doing research on campus and interview recent alumni in industry, graduate school, and medical school. Additionally, we interview faculty about their research topics, and we have a fun section where students and members have a chance to win a small prize, such as a Starbucks gift card. We have grown from a 4-page pamphlet to a 20-page newsletter over the past year, and as we continue to increase our article quota, we will be headed by our newest officer member, the editor-in-chief.
Every year, we decide to develop a t-shirt design to distinguish ourselves from other clubs on campus. We often give shirts to our faculty members who help us with certain events, such as Lunch with Faculty. And this upcoming year, our shirt features a cow, which is what Davis is known for, and contains each of the specialties that we offer all combined into one.
Since the start of our club in 2008, our former Bmes at UC Davis officers have created classic events that continue to become more and more successful each year.
Every winter, we hold a research fair in the lobby of our biomedical engineering building. Graduate students from many of our labs come downstairs, put up posters, and talk to undergraduates about their research while undergraduates hand out resumes. Many undergraduates, myself included, have gotten research positions in Davis Labs via this fair. As you can see from the graph on the right, both graduate and especially undergraduate attendance has increased this last year. We aim to continue this trend. Additionally, this event also brings in many new members for our club. This upcoming year, we hope to expand our fair to include graduate students who do BME research from outside the direct BME department.
So every year we hold our largest outreach event at Picnic Day, the biggest student-run event in the country. During the House of Horrors, we present dreadful accident scenarios and then showcase how biomedical engineering saves the day and solves the problem. We showcase these events to local families that come and visit our event. One innovation we had shown with Christian being burned included a iPad application that not only monitors wounds by taking pictures, but also can calculate total fluid intake by burn percentage, burn type, and weight. We also had Dr. Louie get injured in a biking accident, and then we showcased some tissue engineering cartilage research that's being done at UC Davis.
Every single quarter, we showcase 4 labs. Our lab tours are led by our professors or the grad student in the lab. They talk about their specialty and the research that they are currently doing. We also have special highlights. Every fall quarter, we host our annual barbecue, which is one of our most highly attended events, allowing professors and students to meet and greet. We also showcase our Center for Molecular and Genomic Imaging in the winter. And in the spring, we introduce our team prototyping and fabrication facility, where we have all of our lasers and 3D printers. Lab tours are important because it exposes our students to all the different specialties, allowing them to make educated decisions about their career path. This event also allows many students to get undergraduate research positions. In the future, we're going to invite high school groups to come and tour our labs with us as part of our outreach.
We hold our annual bowling night during spring quarter, in which we rent out the entire UC Davis bowling alley and invite the students, staff, faculty, and family members from the Biomedical Engineering Department. This is our highest attended faculty event, and it's fun watching, as you can see at the top, we have Mark Facciati and Soichiro Yamada talking to undergraduates, having fun and bowling. At the bottom, you can see undergraduates and graduates mingling and interacting in a very personal level. Before we register for classes each quarter, we hold a quarterly symposium, which we inform students about the course offerings in the Biomedical Engineering Department, other engineering departments, and great choices for general education classes. At UC Davis, we emphasize picking a specialization in biomedical engineering, and we inform students about which classes complement each specialization. We also invite a faculty member teaching an elective class to present on their topics and their courses and the target audience involved. We also invite the biomedical engineering peer advisor to advise undergraduates in lower division about the prerequisites required to make upper division courses and to advise upperclassmen about the curriculum so they can graduate on time.
In addition to our traditionally successful events, our chapter also held some new events that also proved to be very popular.
Last year, BMES held its first interdisciplinary panel. Because BME is a field that involves working with people from many different backgrounds, we felt it was important that our undergraduates understood that there was BME research going on outside the direct department. Our panel featured a professor from the Department of Neuroscience, a graduate student from the College of Biological Sciences, and an undergrad who had experience in food science technology. The 3 of them discussed how to find these research opportunities and how to keep up to date on what was going on in the field.
Prior to the Internship and Career Center at UC Davis, we invite graduate students to help critique and analyze resumes of our undergraduates to prepare them as they talk to recruiters at the internship fair and apply to jobs online. It is a great way to engage both graduates and undergraduates in a personal level, and what better way to have an undergraduate show a graduate member, student, their resume than to have it critiqued.
Last year, we invited Aerotech, a job placement company for engineers, to come and host mock interviews. They collected resumes, gave critique after interviews, and also, most importantly, they asked technical questions. Job interviews require a lot of preparation, and we wanted to expose our upperclassmen to a high-pressure environment so they know how to prepare and what to expect.
This past year, we were invited to a local elementary school to participate in the Festival de Ciencias. We taught 5th and 6th graders about synthetic biology and recombinant DNA through a fun and interactive and informative project in a box activity. We allowed kids to cut different pieces of ribbon that represented the DNA and put into a balloon that represented the bacteria. This activity not only taught a scientific concept, but also gave the students a souvenir to take home.
Before midterms of core bioengineering courses and finals, we host study sessions in large rooms. This allows all the students to gather together. We also invite our professors to come and give extra office hours or tutor. This year, we also asked local small businesses to come and donate free coffee, and they did. Undergrads are able to work on problems with their peers and ask upperclassmen for help. Our professors were able to walk around the room and see the problem that their students struggled the most with and recognize the specific concept they need to work on. Also, the local coffee houses were able to market their brand and provide a very kind service to their most prevailing customers in a college town, the college student.
Last spring, BMES held its very first textbook exchange. Because many textbooks are only utilized for one quarter and the cost of textbooks is very high, we felt it was important to create an atmosphere where students can exchange these textbooks. Last year, we had students come up to the chalkboard and write what textbooks they had available and had other students contact them. This year, we plan to improve this process by utilizing Google Docs and other more sophisticated software.
In addition to these traditional events, we have other successful events. One event is called Lunch with Faculty, in which we invite a faculty member along with 4 to 5 other BMES members to eat lunch at a local small business or a local restaurant so they can just talk, chat, learn about the research, and it's a great way to give a resume to a professor.
UC Berkeley and UC Davis traditionally meet up once a year to exchange ideas about our BMES clubs. Last year, we went to UC Berkeley for our summit and met with not only their officers, but also with Santa Clara University and San Jose State University BMES officers. We exchanged ideas about the structures of our club and how to get our members more involved in activities.
We also hold a graduate panel in which we invite several graduate students to come and answer questions from undergraduates about the process to apply to graduate school, the lifestyle as a graduate student, and what you can do with a graduate degree once you have one.
We also invite our alumni to come back and speak about life after UC Davis.
In addition to these professional events, we also have social events, such as a general meeting where we inform BMES students about how they can get more involved in the club. We also hold a scavenger hunt, ice cream social, game night, and trivia night, 2 of which are also joined with other biomedical engineering clubs.
So in the future, here are some changes we'd like to make to our club. Our industry chair is Alexander Summers.
When we attend biomedical engineering or college of engineering recruiting events, the most common question we get from parents is, do biomedical engineering students obtain jobs after graduation? Well, our department does a very good job of connecting students with jobs, but we, as BMES, want to make our biomedical engineering name more prominent. So it is my job to facilitate relations with industry professionals to make a connection between undergraduates and industry. I will accomplish this by having facility tours at big companies such as Stryker and Medtronic, holding mock interviews to prepare students for the dreaded interview process, and hold resume workshops with industry professionals to learn what they actually look for.
Our outreach chair is Rachel Gerlin.
With our appointed outreach position, we hope to collaborate with local schools, Girl and Boy Scouts, as well as science museums in the area to promote not only math and science in general, but also biomedical engineering in particular. We are also planning to work with BESA, our graduate student group, to hold more opportunities for our members to do outreach as well.
Our mentor-mentee chair is Rose Hung Trung.
Our, our mentor-mentee program connects upperclassmen with lowerclassmen and our upperclassmen with graduate students. Our goal is to give our members a new colleague with expertise that they do not currently have, such as advice for grad school applications or special elective classes to take. This year, we invited our alumni to come and join our program. So far, it has been widely successful.
This year, our BMES chapter will be hosting its very first imaging conference titled From Mouse to Man, Advances in Imaging Made Clinically Relevant. This one-day conference will feature speakers from industry and from local universities, as well as graduate student speakers. It will also feature industry booths for our upperclassmen to try and get positions, as well as a poster session for both undergraduate and graduate student speakers. We will also be giving facility tours of our Center for Molecular and Genomic Imaging, which is in the basement of our BME building. If you would like more information about the conference, the website is listed here. There's also a link to this website from our website, www.bme.ucdavis.bmes. You can get to almost anything related to our club from that website. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email at ucdbmes@gmail.com. So now I'd like to thank a couple people. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Athanasio, who is the head of our Biomedical Engineering Department. Dr. Athanasio, as well as a lot of our other faculty, are very supportive of our events, and our club would not be nearly as successful without their support. Dr. Athanasio also makes it a priority that the BME department funds our club, and we could not put on nearly as many events as we do without their funding, so we'd really like to thank him. We'd also like to thank Dr. Kent Leach, who was our advisor this past year and was also very supportive of our club and promoted our club very much during his class. And we'd also like to thank Dr. Tony Passerini, who is our advisor for the upcoming year. He's also already been very helpful in preparing this presentation, and we look forward to working with him for the upcoming year. We'd also like to thank Rosalind Christian, who is our undergraduate student advisor. Rosalind does so much work in connecting us with our alumni and in facilitating picnic day. And so we'd like to thank all the BME faculty, staff, and alumni who come to our events and support our events and advertise our events. This could not be possible without them. We'd also like to thank our members who are very enthusiastic about our club and making it better and attending our events. And finally, we'd like to thank our previous club officers. Last year's president, Nicholas Chichery, he was an amazing president, and I'm very sorry that he couldn't be with us today. He is currently at UC San Diego for graduate school. I'd also like to thank our vice president in charge of our newsletter, Judy Shaw. She is currently a lab manager at UC San Diego. I'd like to thank our vice president for mentor-mentee, Jonathan Rutherford, who's currently working at Intuitive Surgical. I'd like to thank our student affairs officer, Tao Ta, who is currently working at Accenture. And I'd like to thank our EJC representative, that's Engineering Joint Council, Sergio Waked, who is currently a graduate student at Texas A&M. And finally, I'd like to thank the National Biomedical Engineering Society. They were really helpful when we first started our club in supporting us and giving us advice, and we're really honored by this award, and we're really glad to accept it. Thank you very much.
Thanks to the University of California, Davis for giving that awesome presentation. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anvesh Annadanam. We are the executive board of the BMES chapter at Johns Hopkins University. I'd like to introduce our executive board. Here we have Alex Steele, our vice president, Haley Huang, our committee chair, and Luis Herrera, our secretary and treasurer. Today we're just basically going to give an overview of our events for the past year and our most successful ones at that. And hope you'll see what we're good at. All right, so first we have our research initiative, which is very important for us as biomedical engineers to connect research from undergraduates to present to all the professors and other faculty members as well. We're going to talk about our design involvement. We have a very great BME design team that is involved with a lot of BMES conferences and competitions as well. We're going to talk about that. We have mentoring events as well between upperclassmen and underclassmen to facilitate interaction and talk about classes and research and other work. We also have several social events throughout the year. Several of our members, many of our members actually participated in the National BMES Conference last year and previous years and won several awards as well. And we're also going to talk about our future projects for BMES. So first I'd like to talk about our most successful initiative this past year, which was the Undergraduate Research Day. Generally, at Johns Hopkins, we have an Undergraduate Research Day in the fall of every year. But this year we had, for the first time, a collaboration with the University of Maryland at College Park. And the reason for this was basically to foster relationships between BMES chapters, specifically Hopkins and the UMD. And it was a very successful event. We had it in the March of this year. Here's a picture of many of the faculty and students who attended. So the event was basically structured as we had several poster sessions for the undergraduate students. This year we had about 30 abstract submissions from both schools. And each student was asked for abstract submissions in around January. And from this list of 30 students, a panel of judges, combined judges from the University of Maryland and Hopkins, selected 6 students with outstanding abstracts to give oral presentations. And an incentive for giving this oral presentation was 3 prizes. First place was a $300 check, $200 for second place, and $100 for third place. We also had awards for best poster, which was $50 each. At this event, we also had several faculty members present, including our chapter advisor, Dr. Jordan Green, and Dr. Ian White from the University of Maryland. We also had Regina Borkowski from National BMS give a presentation about National BMS, how to become a member, and what are the advantages of being a member. So this is basically a flyer that we sent out for a call for abstracts. Our theme was basically undergraduate research in the BME field. We didn't really restrict our research day to BME students, but that's how it ended up being. Of course, BME students can have research in a diverse variety of fields, including imaging, cell and tissue engineering, instrumentation, medical devices, and every research field was definitely represented at our research day. At the bottom, we see several of our sponsors for the event. Of course, the Johns Hopkins Biomedical Engineering Department helped sponsor a lot of the event. We also have the Bioengineering Department from the University of Maryland. An engineering fraternity contributed some amount of money to our event, Tau Beta Pi. And of course, we couldn't have given the prizes out without a donation from the National BMS chapter itself. We also had a presentation from a sponsorship from Nanostring Technologies, which is a biomedical device company. So here's an outline of basically our events for the day. We had a welcome. Regina Borkowski spoke about BMES. Our executive board introduced ourselves, and we had our poster session, which is very successful. It was held in one of our buildings at Hopkins, and it was a very successful event. The students was able to present their research to all the professors and people walking around. Next, we had our keynote speakers, both Dr. Green and Dr. White from Hopkins and UMD, respectively. And of course, at the end, we had a catered dinner from Zephyr Gold and an award ceremony at the end. So I'm just going to go through some pictures of our event. Here we have our third place winner from UMD alongside the then president, David Peeler, on the right. Second place winner from Hopkins with John Kim on the left, our president from last year. And of course, the first place winner from the University of Maryland alongside the UMD president as well. Here are the best poster winners. We actually had a tie this year, surprisingly. One from UMD and one from Hopkins. All right, so here's just a cycle through some pictures. We have a Hopkins student explaining his research to a UMD professor. This is really great because we were able to collaborate between 2 chapters, and students were able to present to faculty that they would never normally meet at general events or other events. Again, here we have a student presenting to a professor, and here 2 students discussing their work. So now I'm going to introduce Luis Herrera, who's going to talk about our mentoring events and our design involvement with BMES.
So as Anvesh has mentioned, we really like to get our students involved within the BME community at Hopkins, be it through research or other extracurricular activities. One of the best ways we found was through our mentoring program. We hold this on the first Friday of the school year, and we have our freshman students come in and go through an information session where we have our faculty sponsor, Dr. Jordan Green, speak about the benefits of research as an undergraduate, as well as the exec board who tells them about the benefits of joining BMES. Here, we have after this 1 hour session, we have a lunch with the students, and every mentor has about four to five freshmen during the entire school year. Now, this is not just a one event thing. We also, throughout the school year, we keep in touch with our freshmen, which we found out has developed a really good relationship with them as well. And this has really helped increase our numbers from about 30 mentors to 60, because if we invest in them, they're more willing to volunteer later on. Another way we do is through our design involvement through our undergraduate research design team. So our design teams are actually a senior class, and here the 5 seniors choose 2 to 3 freshmen. And through our BMES network and mentoring, we actually found out that we could actually find the freshmen who are more interested in the project they want. Our design teams are involved within the BMES competitions. The Fastitch team actually won the debut competition last year, as well as Mr. Park won the Design and Research Award in 2012. We also like to get our students involved within industry, within graduate school, as well as medicine. And we do this through our BMES speaker series. Here we have faculty within the Hopkins community come and speak to our students. Afterwards, they get to speak to them and network and find out their interests. It's not just work that we do at BMES at Hopkins. We also have our social events. Here's our t-shirt design from last year. And we sell our t-shirts at the Winter Social, which we'll explain about later on. This is actually the Da Vinci machine by Intuitive Surgical. This was our shirt last year to show that BMEs do have a sense of humor. And our one 2 years ago. Now I'm going to present Haley Huang, our committee chair representative.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to talk to you a little bit about our annual Winter Social that we hold every year. It's a huge banquet that we throw for all BME undergrad, graduate students, faculty members, catered by Zephyrdin Gold at the end of the fall semester. What you see up here is a promotional flyer. During this event, we sell the winning BME t-shirt of Design of the Year, like the one Luis showed you in the previous slides. But the goals we strive for during this event are more than just selling t-shirts or giving everyone a fantastic salmon dinner. But we really want to cultivate faculty and student interactions, give them an opportunity to come together to speak with one another. We really love encouraging graduate and undergraduate student mingling because we understand that there's not many opportunities for that during the normal school year. We want to promote general underclassmen and upperclassmen interactions as well, and so that upperclassmen are able to give those underclassmen advice for the coming school year or semester. And also, we just like celebrating the end of the semester because we all know BME is a really hard department. Here's a picture of our Dr. Green, Dr. Shukas in the middle, and our former president, Daniel Peng. So last year, we had a great turnout of about 200 undergraduate students and graduate students who had that opportunity to talk to about 20 faculty members about their future career paths, courses, and preparations for the next semester. Here's a picture of our formal board, because we also like to use this opportunity to thank our leaving board members, those who graduate in the fall semester instead of the spring, the faculty, the BMES faculty, and sponsors for their support of the entire year. Another event that we like to hold to promote student bonding beyond academics is our design team sports tournament. So Luis talked a little bit about the design team program that we have here at Hopkins, and at the end of last spring semester, these 10 to 12 teams competed in a single elimination basketball tournament for a $100 gift card to Chipotle and free t-shirts for the entire team.
And we hope by holding this event, students have the opportunity to socialize in a new, active setting and compete in stress-free, exciting environments other than just academics. So, let's see. And to finish off the academic year, we held our first spring social dinner at the Capitol Grill restaurant located in the Inner Harbor, which is a great downtown area in Baltimore where students love to go and hang out. So BMES members were invited to the event to celebrate the end of the year, to talk a little bit about finals and their plans for the summer, but most importantly, to receive advice from our graduating BMES seniors, those who left behind their wisdom and their guidance for our freshmen, sophomores, and junior board who would be taking up the torch this coming year. And I would like to introduce our Vice President, Alex Steele, who will talk to you guys a little bit about National BMES involvement and future directions for our society.
Good morning, everyone. So over the past few years, we've been able to increase our National BMES involvement. Last year, we actually doubled our membership in National BMES by increasing our chapter's awareness at our school. This year, we're hoping to continue that trend by offering a 50% discount on registration to first-time signups. As far as attending the national conference, last year we had 9 students attend, 6 of whom gave an oral or poster presentation. Our school funded 4 of the executive board members to attend the conference, and we're currently looking for sponsorships with outside companies to fund more students to attend the conference. Last year, we set up a student chapter booth where we distributed flyers to showcase our year's events and to also showcase JHU's Biomedical Engineering program. This picture shows all of the attendees from our school, including some of the faculty. The picture in the top left shows JHU design team presenting their project, the Fast Stitch, which Luis mentioned, which won first place at the debut challenge. And the picture in the bottom right shows our current secretary, Luis, presenting a poster on the Fast Stitch. So we have big plans to grow our organization in the future. Our largest initiative this year is to start an undergraduate research and design journal. The goal of this journal would be to expand recognition for undergraduate research activities, increase awareness of BME activities at JHU, develop important scientific writing skills for undergraduates, and build undergraduate resumes. We plan to partner with another club at our school, the Johns Hopkins Medical Device Network, to provide the necessary personnel to receive, edit, and publish these articles. Research articles would stem from our research day, which Anvesh talked about, and it'll encourage the poster presenters who attended that event to actually write up their projects in full scientific papers. Design articles will stem from the design teams in our Center for Bioengineering Innovation and Design. We also have plans to organize a forum for networking initiatives between undergraduates and BME alumni. These initiatives would help connect students to jobs in medicine, industry, and research. We also plan to team up with the Hopkins Medical Device Network to set up a career fair featuring medical device, biotechnology, and pharmaceutical companies from around the nation. Finally, the last new event that we plan to hold is a series of mini design competitions for freshmen. So at our school, we have a freshman class where freshmen are required to complete a little challenge where they have to move a ping pong ball like 6 feet in one direction and back using only rubber bands and poster board. So this would sort of be like a smaller version of that. We would have a simple task that they would have to accomplish using limited materials, and the competitions would be intended to foster creativity and teamwork within the freshman BMEs. Finally, we hope to increase our membership this year by advertising at our school's annual student activities fair. So on behalf of our chapter of the BMES, we'd like to thank everyone. We'd like to thank the National BMES. And yeah.
Pretty sure we're open for questions.
Yeah, we're up for questions now if anybody has one.
How many people do you have in your department, undergrads, versus how many are actually in your club active? Do you have any advice for smaller chapters?
I think about 25% of the undergraduates are part of our club. Can you hear me okay? Okay. About 25%. And I guess for smaller chapters, the best thing to do is get the support of your professors. Our professors will like stand up in class and be like, this event is really, really good. You should go to it. And then like at least half your class will go.
Yeah, I can actually speak to that. We're actually a pretty small chapter ourselves. Our undergraduate BME department is only about 100 to 120 students per year. And our chapter, 100 to 120 per year.
We're looking at like 15 per year.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'd give this similar advice. Have the professors more involved. Have more outreach from the BMES at your school. We also have not too many members are part, or about 50 members for the entire school. So we're also trying to get more membership as well.
And I'd like to add, I talked a little bit about the spring social that we hold, which was pretty much taking a good number of the BMES to a very nice dinner, which I think would be a great incentive for you. If your chapter is very, very small or your department is very, very small, you can personally invite each of them to an event similar to that to get them to bond and get to join BMES.
Yes.
I have a question about graduate student involvement. How many, just a question in the room, how many students are graduate students?
Okay.
So most clubs are dominated by undergraduate students. So what do you guys do to facilitate graduate student involvement? Because I cannot get them to show up and have fun.
We have two very distinct clubs at our school. BESA is our graduate student organization, and what we do is we have the mentor-mentee program, which connects them back to us. We also do outreach with them. I guess we just always have free food and to incite them as an incentive to get them to come to us. And everyone works in the same lab, in the same building, so we make sure to keep our events at the building so that all they have to do is come downstairs.
Also, that research fair, it gives them great practice for poster presentations that you saw from us, and probably John Hopkins as well. It gives them great practice for their presentations for future conferences, so it's a win-win situation. We can get access to graduate students, they can present to us.
You in the blue.
Okay, earlier you mentioned that you wanted to reach out to companies to help more members to come to the national BMES conferences. So how do you guys normally pitch yourselves to companies to not only fund you guys, but to maybe come speak at your general meetings?
So last year we had we reached out. Sure. Yeah. So he was asking about how to get sponsorship from companies to speak at events or research days or of the sort. So we basically reached out to companies in the Baltimore area who are local there, and reached out to the people who are in charge in that area and asked them to give some information about summer internships or any other opportunities that they may offer to students, and have them talk over at our university.
What about the funding aspect of it?
So
what did they get out of funding you guys?
yeah, so in return for their talk, well, they essentially, companies generally would like to take up a particular amount of time, 30 minutes or so, to give a presentation, and for that spot, they would give a donation to for us for offering that spot to them, and they would advertise their positions and advertise their company, and from that they would be able to recruit students to have, like I said, summer internships or any other job opportunities.
So if they funded you guys to send more members to the national conference, what would you be offering?
So we haven't actually gone to ask them for national conference membership yet. We're still thinking about that and how to go about asking for that. But we did ask for donations for our research day, which is what was successful in the past.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where does the majority of your funding come from? And if you have ever done any fundraising activities, how do you go about getting those funds? And, well, that's the first one. And then another one.
Oh, let me answer your first one first. Her
Wait,
question.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Her question was, where does most of our funding come from? And so, like I put up Dr. Athanasiou's picture, the Biomedical Engineering Department gives us a significant chunk of funding, and the other chunk of funding that we get comes from membership dues. So as Rachel talked about, we charge $15 for local membership, and then we offer national membership for the national membership price with complimentary local membership. And so that's enough money to cover us for the whole year. We actually,
T-shirts.
yeah, and so in addition to our local membership and our national membership, we sell our t-shirts for $5, which I think is pretty good for t-shirts. And they're really popular, especially since we put out like a different design every year, and it's very iconic of the club.
There's also funding if you look around at your school, like our fall barbecue, we get a grant, a Dean Witter grant. You just apply, and as long as faculty are there, they give you money to host it. So if you look around at your school for like club funding, there might be some opportunity there too.
We've also had very wise presidents in the past that budget very, very well so that we would have money at the start of every single year.
Yeah, we had, we're the same thing. Our majority of our funding comes from our generous BME department, and the rest of it, of course, from t-shirt sales as well. And we actually don't have membership dues charged for us, but yeah, our funding basically BME department and t-shirt sales. And of course, we had some, like I said, donations from some companies as well as national BMEs.
The girl in pink.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you guys hold any events that require carpooling, and how are your attendances if you do require carpooling for those events?
The question was if we had any events that required carpooling, and actually a lot of our industry tours require carpooling. We just have everyone meet at our building, the Genome and Biomedical Science Facility, where we have all of our labs. Everyone just meets in the front, and then the car just goes. We also have carpooling for outreach because we go out to Sacramento, Vacaville, Fairfield. What else do we?
We have most of our officers like volunteer to drive, or if other people that we know want to go, ask them if they want to drive. So make it personal so that they are kind of obligated to do it, and always offer like money for gas and stuff like that as well.
We just take account of who's attending beforehand, an estimate, and then we divide it up and plan the correct amount of drivers.
Did you have a follow-up? Yeah.
Yeah, how are the attendance for those kind of events? Like, do you
Industry tours are really popular. It's kind of hard to plan the day because usually we do it on a Friday when most people don't have class or something. So those are really highly attended. And our outreach, we hadn't advertised it as well, so we're really planning to do that this year and get more people involved. And with my position as outreach, we wanted to focus on that, so we have one person doing that, making sure it's more popular this year.
For outreach, it's usually around 10 people. Most of them are the graduate students. We would have about, at most, like a handful of undergraduates. So carpooling is very easy.
Yeah, go ahead in purple.
Are your events, like your programs, workshops, picnics, mentorments, all that stuff, is that open to the department or only PMES members?
So we have some of our events, such as the research fair, is only for BMES members. Lunch with faculty, which we mentioned briefly, is also only for BMES members. but the majority of our events are actually open to anyone.
So you see yourself kind of more serving the department than those particular students?
Yeah.
Well, since we charge dues, we want to give the people that paid for our membership like kind of like a one-up on like special events that are really popular. But we do try and incorporate other clubs with like game nights and stuff like that that are open to anybody. So.
And then, so like your London faculty for like 4 to 5 BMS members, you said, how do you choose the attendance base?
It's a lottery system. We have signups. We send out emails, they respond back to us, and then we do a lottery.
Our system is a little bit different. We have our undergraduate research days available for anyone in the BME department, and our BME specific events are such as the spring social dinner that we went to, and we also have smaller social events, gatherings like general body meetings or anything like that. Those are for only BME members. But in general, our winter social and our research day and our teacher competition, they're all available for all BME students.
Yeah.
For spring social at Capitol Grill, does your department pay for that, or did you get sponsorship from the restaurant?
Yeah, so for that event, our department sponsored it.
In blue.
Okay, sorry, I have another question. So for most of your events, like the design competition, all that stuff, is that mostly planned by the officers, or do you allow, or do you have some of the BMS members help plan those events?
All right, so for the design competition, it works as it's a senior design class, and usually those upperclassmen. Oh, sorry. So the question was, can you say it again one more time?
Or just like, not just the design competition, but like other events. If there's planning involved, is it mostly planned by the officers, or do you involve your members to help plan and organize those events?
Right, so he asked who helps organize the events, board or exec board, for design team or other ones. Usually it's the board. So we have our exec board, which is us four here. We also have a supplementary group of other people who help with the mentoring chair and different other roles that help us pass the work down to somebody else, so we could be more efficient that way.
So we have a general board and an executive board. Our events are planned by the entire board.
Ours is a little different. We have 14 officers, and we all plan and coordinate all events. But our newsletter committee is made up of one officer or a couple officers and BMES members, and they write articles and all that. And then this year we're hoping to have an outreach committee as well. So with our officers, plan events, and committees do other types of things.
All right, are we going to take the question from the very back over there?
Yes.
Yeah, you.
Sorry, thanks for being patient.
Okay, I was curious, your mentorship events were geared mostly towards freshmen. What stage in the major are they? Are they already admitted directly as freshmen, or are they in the application process?
The question was if the freshmen were already in the application process or already admitted. I would say both. We have things like preview day or decision day where we show incoming freshmen what it's like. We have high school outreach where we try to talk about our college and the college life and answer those types of questions. And then, of course, we have things for the freshmen, such as the scavenger hunt, to get them acquainted with our university campus.
But all of our members are admitted to UC Davis College of Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really like your guys' book exchange idea. I just had a question about whether the timing of it, when it's like the end of the semester or the beginning of the next semester, is before the plan.
We've been trying to do it, so when we held it in the spring, we held it as a joint event with our general meeting, which we held the first week of the quarter. This quarter, we are trying to hold it or send out information for the textbook exchange, like right now, which is
before school starts.
Before school, like school started yesterday for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any members that are not biomedical engineers?
Do we have many members that are not biomedical engineers? I would say we have a lot of double majors, like maybe mechanical, we have a handful that are not biomedical engineers that just love our club.
We have a couple biological systems engineering majors, and our president last year was a biosystems engineer.
And during our research fair, we got a couple new members just from the College of Biological Sciences, just for the research fair. So those people, I mean, they pay dues for that one day, so we consider them members.
Our members are all actually biomedical engineering students. We don't really have similar majors to that. So, but a lot of our BME students are applied math or other double majors.
In the blue?
back. Yeah.
I'm curious, how do you guys advertise most of your events?
Facebook.
We also do classroom announcements. So we have officers that are seniors, juniors, and sophomores. So we just tell them to go to their BME classes and make announcements like at the beginning or in the middle of class. And that gets like a lot of people. And then we, like Alex said, we do Facebook updates. And this year we're trying something a little new where we do website updates regularly as well.
We also have weekly emails that our peer advisor sends to the whole undergraduate student body, and that's very helpful.
And we make a flyer for each event that we have. So there's always a new one every week.
So we actually talked to our department, and they actually gave us the email list for the BME each class, and we found out that that's very effective. Everybody receives it, as well as definitely having people go into the classes and talking about the event.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you all have any sort of point system or requirements or anything like that?
Really?
No, not really.
We thought about it.
We
Yeah.
thought about having
We feel like a
tallying
grade book,
attendance
but-
percentage
We
and giving
haven't.
them a prize of
Yeah.
some sort. Yeah.
But we haven't actually done it.
Yes.
I noticed with your chapter in particular, you have local members versus national members.
Yes.
How do you encourage local members to become national members if they're not attending the conference?
We make sure they know that what they put on their resume needs to be very clear. They can't say that they're in BMES because that could be confused as the National Society. We encourage the upperclassmen to become national members because that's critical for their resumes and their career.
We actually, we don't have a separate system like that. All of our local members are national members as well. We don't allow members not to be national members.
Do you guys facilitate dues in any way, or is they pay dues for national and they're good to go?
Yeah, so in the past we've had, they pay dues to national, and then they send us their ID, BMES ID, and we have them in our mailing list. This year we're starting a 50% give back for first-time registrants. It's for freshmen.
With our two-tier system, we like to give new students local membership because they're still filling it out, don't really know if they're going to stick with it and stuff. So we give them that opportunity, and they give us $15 for local membership. But we encourage juniors and seniors to be national members. They pay us $30, and we just send it to the national organization. We don't get any money for students who become national members. So.
Anyone else?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.